The following announcement is brought to you by the Xtreme World Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, soldiers of the Xtreme, hello and welcome back to That Xtreme Wrestling channel. I hope everything is going well for you in your lives. My name is Samson. I am the Xtreme Gaming Guru, back again, bringing you guys another episode of Away From Kontroller, that series where we put the controllers down, we let the computer battle it out for our viewing, a pleasure, and we talk wrestling shop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, before we get into things, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the crew, hashtag the Xtreme. We are growing every day. Thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined the Xtreme thus far. Much love. But anyways, guys, like I said, this is AFK, where we talk wrestling shop. And something occurred to me this past Saturday as I was sitting back, trying to enjoy a nice Heineken, a nice little doobie snack, and watch one of my favorite WWE pay-per-views, that is WWE Extreme Rules, the one time of the year where WWE actually speaks my language, the language of the Extreme. But anyways, guys, as I was sitting back and I'm trying to enjoy, my beverage, my smoke, I'm enjoying my wrestling, I'm enjoying people, trying to get extreme for what WWE calls extreme, and I'm just not getting as excited as I once used to, and I'm like, am I getting too old for wrestling? And then of course by the end of the show we get that surprise return of the one, the only Bray Wyatt, and it just didn't do it for me. I'm excited. I was happy to see Bray Wyatt and, all these tremendous changes that Triple H has been instituting since he took creative control over of WWE. But I just wasn't feeling it. I remember back, Attitude Era, my teenage years, loving that wrestling and just being excited every time I heard the glass smash and being shocked at wrestler returns and things like that. And I'm like, why am I not feeling that same level of excitement now? Am I too old for wrestling? Have I grown out of my passion for professional wrestling? And I sat back and I thought about it, and I was like, nope. It can't be that, because I've been a wrestling fan all my life. Wrestling was probably my first interest. I've got wrestling magazines. I think my first ever WWE magazine is a green magazine. It's got Ted DiBiase on the cover. It's from 1984, 1985 or something. I have no idea. But nonetheless, I've been a wrestling fan forever. Two interests when I was growing up: video games and wrestling. And wrestling and video games have carried throughout my entire life. So you cannot tell me that I've lost my passion for wrestling. So I started thinking about it, trying to break it down, and I'm like, alright, so why do I enjoy wrestling? What got me into wrestling in the first place? What is my wrestling origin story, if you will? So I put a little bit of thought into that, and I thought about when I was a kid, waking up Saturday morning and catching Saturday Night Main Event or whatever it was, and hopefully seeing Hulk Hogan do his thing, which was a rarity back then. But I started just looking at these guys, and immediately, right away, the first time I ever saw an Irish whip, I knew something was up. I knew, this isn't normal. There was a lot of times where I'm like, okay, that guy should be defending himself. That doesn't make sense. Why is that guy running when he gets, thrown into the ropes? Why doesn't he just stop? Why doesn't somebody pull The Undertaker off the top rope? I always knew something was up. And then eventually I figured out that, this is fixed, if you will. The matches, the outcomes are predetermined. But what I realized is that it's not, the fakeness or anything. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. But nonetheless, what I enjoyed about wrestling at that time was the fact that these gentlemen were in this ring doing fantastic things, and it just blew my mind, the things they could pull off, and not kill each other. Because I'm picturing these things in my head done in real life, and people are not walking away very nice. So I was a big fan of just these outrageous moves being performed in the ring. And then I got into Bret Hart, started really like appreciating catch wrestling, you know, reversals, submissions, and all that stuff. I got into high school wrestling. I enjoyed all that. And then, you know, time goes on, Austin happens. It's a cultural phenomenon. I'm having fantasies of, you know, glass smashing as I walk into work at Wendy's and giving fingers and boots to the stomach to everybody and just delivering stunners all over the place. So it's not my passion of wrestling that's lacking nowadays. It's not that. So then I started breaking it down a little bit more. Alright, so if I'm not too old for wrestling, if I haven't lost my passion for wrestling, what has changed that just makes wrestling not as enjoyable? And then I started thinking, well, is it just not as good as I remember? And then I started thinking back to some of the most outrageous, just horrible storylines that I've witnessed over the years of my fandom, and I was like, nope. There's always been bad wrestling. It's not the bad storylines or anything, because that's not why I was ever into wrestling. I didn't really get into it for the storylines. So it's not because I'm too old. It's not because I lost my passion for wrestling. It's not because quote unquote the wrestling is bad right now. So then, once again, I go back to it, and I'm like, well, why am I not just getting into wrestling? Why is there no excitement? And I started breaking down what is different. There's gotta be something different. And ladies and gentlemen, I think I figured it out. Dirt sheets. Dirt sheets is what changed in my wrestling fandom, and I think they are the cause that wrestling is just doesn't hold the same impact in my life anymore. There's no surprise. And to be perfectly honest, I don't even understand why there are dirt sheets. Like, are there dirt sheets for, you know, female soap operas during the daytime? No, there's not. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't understand why there's dirt sheets. Ultimately, these dirt sheet writers are the ultimate marks. They're the ones that bought in so hard, and they want to believe it's real so much that they actually get into this backstage news and rumors and speculation and all that stuff. And don't get it twisted. I am not talking about wrestling reviewers, people like Brian Zane and stuff like that, people that just want to review the shows. Speaking of which, I wanted to review Extreme Rules 2022, but I just can't get it through my head on the time frame of those videos. Like, in your opinion, you, the Extreme, is it alright to release a video, like a review video of a pay-per-view, a couple days after the pay-per-view, or does it have to be like the next day that review is up? Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, so dirt writers, they are the cancer of the wrestling industry. They have destroyed my excitement level of wrestling. And the reason why I say that is because ever since I started reading about dirt sheets and stuff like that, my entire thinking of the wrestling industry changed. I wasn't looking at it to be entertained or anything. I was looking at it and trying to pick it apart, and looking for those botches and trying to, you know, just disassemble everything in my head, as opposed to just losing myself in wrestling and enjoying it for what it is. And dirt sheets just they just ruined it for me. They ruined it for me. And the Bray Wyatt thing, like, I read about the Bray Wyatt thing, all this speculation and stuff, and it wasn't just people guesstimating, right? Like, it was, backstage somebody said, you know, Bray Wyatt's returning, he could be the way, blah 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 blah. It all goes down the news line, and it just ruins the whole Bray Wyatt return for me. And they've done it numerous times, where, you know, there's something that I should be so excited for, that Bray Wyatt return. If I would have known nothing about it, if I was just a wrestling fan, just watching wrestling, enjoying wrestling, and then all of a sudden, you know, the lights go out, I see all the cell phones light up, and I got Bray Wyatt singing, he's got the whole world in his hands, and I see the rabbit and all the characters from the Firefly Funhouse in, like, real person. If I had no dirt sheet interaction, if I didn't read the scoops or the news or anything like that, That would have been the biggest moment, but instead it was all ruined. I knew it was coming. I was just wondering, when does it happen on Raw? Does it happen on Extreme Rules? Like, when does it happen? So I had a little bit of like excitement, but not as full as what it could have been if, I didn't read dirt sheets or dirt sheets weren't around. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going, well, just don't read the dirt sheets. And to be perfectly honest, I wanna just give it up. I wanna not read dirt sheets, but they're everywhere. It's everywhere. You log on to Twitter, you follow anybody in the wrestling industry, and all you get is dirt sheet information. The Bill Bodies, the Dave Meltzers, the Brian Alvarez's. Oh my gosh, Dave Meltzer. Let me just say this about Dave Meltzer. It is painful to listen to Dave Meltzer. I know I am not the most easiest person to listen to. I got a lot of uhs and ums and all that stuff while I'm trying to figure out the sentences in my head, but I got a lot of anxiety and stuff I'm dealing with here. I don't know what Dave Meltzer's excuse is for the way he forms his sentences and stuff. I'm glad he doesn't write like that. Like, I've read Dave Meltzer's writings on the Wrestling Observer Live newsletter, whatever the fucks, and he doesn't write like that. It's just his speaking tone. So I don't know, man. He's just painful to listen to me every time. Just breaks my mind. But, yeah. Like I said, I can't say anything. I'm not the greatest with these live commentaries. I'm not one to put down, time into writing, like, the perfect script or whatever. I just like to sit down in front of my microphone, try and feel comfortable, and spit out my thoughts. And hopefully in return, I don't know what it's going to take because I've been trying for a while now, but hopefully in return you guys will let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Yeah, that's right. Let me know. What do you guys think about dirt sheets? Did they ruin wrestling for you? Should we just do something as a wrestling community to outlaw dirt sheets? I'm not talking about wrestling reviewers, people that are reviewing the show and giving their honest opinions on what they saw. I'm talking about these guys that are hanging around in hotel lobbies trying to meet wrestlers and get these relationships with wrestlers so they can get the backstage news and all the drama and all this stuff. It goes so far. All the AEW backstage nonsense. If dirt sheets weren't around, it wouldn't be such a big thing, and AEW probably would have been able to play off of the whole thing and make it a storyline of some form. But instead, dirt sheets got in. We got way too many details of what's happening backstage, and now AEW is just doesn't look like a fun place to work. And I don't want to know that. I just want to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Tuesdays, Fridays. Man, there's so much wrestling on nowadays. Isn't it awesome to be a wrestling fan? But nonetheless, I just want to tune in, watch some wrestling, enjoy the wrestling that's being presented to me, have my thoughts and opinions, get on Twitter and voice those thoughts and opinions. And I just don't want to hear any more of this backstage news, this wrestling drama, this dirt sheet crap. Dirt sheets should not exist. Alright? Is it just me? Let me know. Comment section below. What purpose do dirt sheets have? Do you agree with me that they are just the biggest marks in the history of wrestling? Look up the definition of wrestling mark in the dictionary and it should say anybody that writes a dirt sheet column. Right there. They are the biggest marks. They bought in the hardest. They're not just enjoying the show. They want to believe it's real. They want to believe it's a sport, and they just want to be so involved with it. They are the biggest marks. Dirt sheet writers and Dave Meltzer. Oh, Big Papa Dave Meltzer. He's probably the biggest mark of them all. And, yeah. That's just my thoughts, guys. I'm just rambling. It's 5:25 a.m. in the morning as I record this episode of AFK. So hopefully it made a little bit of sense. You got a little bit of what I'm trying to get across here. Let me know by hitting that like button with the too sweet. Like I said, I'm trying to get some communication happening between us. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you haven't already, join the Xtreme. Hit the subscribe button. And yeah, I guess that's it, right? Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye and good nights. Bang. Too sweet, guys. Too sweet.
Here is your winner, man, Kyle. give it their all and then some to achieve this victory.
I don't know if I'd say the battle scars were worth it, Cole, but I will say the one who did it to them isn't the one celebrating right now.